as they all line up in front of the Fangio grandstand. And here we go then, 5 lights on here for the Australian Grand Prix of Ground Effect Racing League. We are away, and it's a good start by Jacelyn, and an even better start there by Nanu, who goes ahead of Turbo Chris at the start. He's looking to challenge, but he's not going to get the move done there on Jacelyn in the number 17 car. Meanwhile, there's chaos at the back, I think, as there's a lot of abreast moments going on here. As down the inside goes one of the Aston Martins. That's Adrian. On the inside of one of the V-Cars, there's a Sauber round. That's Raza Gamer. Absolute shame for the Sauber driver. He's gone right down to the back of the pack as Jacelyn leads Raza down to the back of the grid. That's a massive shame for him. After such a competitive qualifying from him, he's now down at the back. And as they all pile on to Lakeside Drive and into the turn 9-10 section, as they go past the weight grandstand. Absolute chaos here as Jacelyn takes the lead of the race late from pole position. Nanu jumping Chris at the start there, really crucial for this race. Turbo not getting a good start, and now GRL Atom has gained a lot of places in that chaos. He's gained 3 places. Pat Pedder has lost 2 places. There's battling in the background. I think that's one of the V-Carbs being overtaken there by Catarilla, as that's when the Alpine's there. More leader looking to state his lead on Liam Mack. Liam Mack trying to stay ahead as the fastest lap of the race is set by your race leader of Jacelyn, as that's when the Alpine's looking for a move there on the, was it Liam Mack? I think one of the McLarens were going for a move there. That was Spenny having a look at a move on Freedom, if I'm not mistaken. As down the inside goes More Leader. That's going to be a very decent move there if he can make that move stick. Around the outside, not going to make the move done. And now he's going to come back here round the outside of the Summerland corner. Great move by one of the Alpines, and he's helped his teammate out. Reza down the inside of Liam Mack, and he has lost both places to the Alpines. The Alpines have really, well, he's sold him for brioche on the exit of the Summerland corner, and now they go down Lakeside Drive, and Jammy's now going to have a pop at Liam. So that's 3 places in 1 lap that Liam has lost. Absolute disaster for him. And now it looks like there'll be a move here by Trusted, who's going for a move here on Owen Bozzy. I wonder how late on the brakes he's going to be. Not late enough, as that's when the Mercedes going wide there. That is Pat Pedder, who's lost 2 places. He's gone to his back foot here at the start. But Owen Bozzy trying to make up for the lost points from Raza Gamer, who spun at turn 3. Not too sure what happened there to Raza Gamer, but it's an absolute travesty that he's gone down that far. As they head down the straight, all the fastest laps tipping in. We've gone from the 124s of lap 1 to the 119s of lap 3, or lap 2 even. As they head through turn 1, 2 and 3, I'm just looking to see if there's any kind of action here. I think Atom's maybe looking for a move here on Chris. They're all in a big line here, looking to try and suss out any kind of positions as we flick through to the back of the pack. Everything's looking quite nice as they head through the Ricardo corner and through the Summerland corner. And Raza there looking to make amends for that spin earlier. He's on the back of Rom Lawn, as the Red Bull of Nanu on the back of Jacelyn, but he's also on his back foot there as Turbo Chris looking to make a move on him. So the 54 Red Bull's got to watch out. I think, was there someone getting loose there? It looked like it. One of the V-Carbs maybe getting loose out of that corner. One of the Mercedes looking for a move. That's down the inside for Pat Pedder. There's a penalty for the Freedom Williams car as Pat Pedder keeps the position. There's chaos at the back here, I think. There's been battling with Spenny and Freedom, as Freedom's got a penalty, Spenny's got a penalty. 2 penalties in 3 laps at the moment. And Raza has got past AMS, Jobo, and I think it's Pat Pedder pitted. Pat Pedder's lost a lot of positions here. What's happened here to Pat Pedder? Has he had a spin? What's happened to the Mercedes? And he's losing the car again. He's got a puncture, has he got a worn tyre? Whatever is happening, it looks like he's got some sort of traction issue. Pat Pedder looked like he was pedaling a bike through some ice there. Absolute no traction for Pat Pedder. in the Mercedes, and a man who started right up with his teammate, looking so good for Mercedes, is now looking even better for the Aston Martins, who are 6 and 8 at the moment. Great stuff for the Aston Martin team in terms of the Constructors' Championship. They are the closest together in terms of teammates. The only person separating them is Owen Bosey, who's backing up the Aston Martin into the Alpine of more leader. This trio here looking very close indeed as they head into the turn 11 corner of the Pinnacle. Going past the Pinnacle's grandstand and into the Lauda curve at turn 12. Owen Bosey looking to maybe make a move as the two Alpines follow suit as well. This will be good constructors points for them as well, as I think there's battling in the background. One of the Williams getting under threat there, gets swallowed up by one of the McLarens. But we're now on to lap 5 of this Grand Prix here for the Ground Effect Racing League, as we see here Spenny getting through as Razza gets through on Rom Lawn. That's P18 for Razza, trying to emulate what Nico Hulkenberg did in the British Grand Prix of real life, trying to go from the back to the front. Hulkenberg has got a reputation for doing that, starting outside the points and ending up inside the points come race day, as heading through the turn 6-7 section and past the balconies and onto Lakeside Drive they goes. We're looking at AJ Nolan in the 754 cars. I think that's going to be a move here. Chris Turbo, who lost the place to Nano at the start of this race, getting burned out on the line, now looking to maybe use his turbo in his name and try and prove that he's got some turbo in his car to power pass even. Nanu, there's one of the Aston Martins there going a bit wide. That's Adria, the Triple N car, the number 78 Aston Martin entry. The Alpines here, I think one of them got a little bit out of line. That's absolutely fine for them so far. Razza Gamer proving his pace on the hard tyres, which might be good for a comeback drive at the moment, but they're all spaced out so far. Calming down here in this 29 lap race. I think one of the McLarens are making a move on one of the V cars if I can get down quick enough. I think that was Spenny looking for a move on the Alpha heated car of the YouTuber. Razza as well looking for a move down the inside. Goes Razza Gamer, and with some high definition braking. Cartier though stays ahead as Spenny now backing up the Toyota Haas into the Stakes Sauber. And the purple helmet of Razza looking to emulate something that Lewis Hamilton would do, a double overtake, which Hamilton did do in Silverstone, round the outside of Esteban Ocon and George Russell at the village corner. Can Razza maybe go past two cars at once as he goes down Lakeside Drive here? He's looking for a move. Oh, it's very close to contact there as they both go past Spenny. Pat Pedder gets a 3-second penalty, and Razza Gamer looking to maybe get past two cars in one corner. Not going to make the move stick. He goes onto the grass. The 94 car goes wide, and now it's both McLarens at the back of the field. Absolute nightmare for the Woking-based outfit, who are dominating in real life F1 in Division 3 of Ground Effect Racing League, not being able to emulate the same kind of performance. As we head down the straight on lap 7, just checking down the order again, but everyone's very spaced out, just looking to conserve until they need to make any kind of move, as Razza, I think, is the closest battle on track at the moment. He's on the back of another Ferrari customer car, Cartela in the Haas car. He's holding up Razza, who spun at the start of this race at this very corner. The Nelson PK curve with the PK grandstand on the other side of it. And even PK could say that's unfair as they head through Summerland and into turn 6 there. I think a bit of a loose moment there for Razza. I think there's going to be a move though, as side by side here with the Mercedes of Pat Pedder, who's on the back foot, and another person on the back foot is Jammy. And in terms of penalties, Freedom 46 is also on the back foot. It's down the inside on the Lakeside Drive goes the Freedom 46 car. Razza does get ahead of the Haas finally a lap later. And great move there by Razza Gamer. Very high definition move. And if that's what the HD stands for, I can understand why now. As the RG HD man up into P16 as Rom gets overtaken there by Spenny. Rom's gone off. Rom Lawn into the gravel there. Not the best line through there for the Ferrari driver. struggling on those hard tyres, maybe going through a stage of grading as they head through. Turbo Chris now has got a great run out of turn 2, but it's not going to be good enough to get that move. Meanwhile, one of the Saubers are on the back foot. It's Owen Bozzy, Razagamer doing the overtaking, Owen Bozzy doing the absolute trolley train-like defending at the moment. The Aston Martin ahead as well, with Adrian compromising this Sauber to make any kind of progress, and he's compromising not just the Sauber, he's compromising his own teammate, Trusted, compromising the Moore leader, compromising the Rezacar, compromising Liam Muck as well if he gets close enough, as I think the two Alpines might go side by side here, and the Aston Martin of Trusted. Hopefully he can be trusted to maybe make a move on the outside, but he's not going to make that move stick as of yet, as they all fly through that section. Pat Pedder though, being overtaken there, through on the outside of turn 9 it looked like, on the outside of the Lakeside Drive flick zigzag thingy of turn 9 and 10, the 46 of Freedom gets past Pat Pedder. That's a tongue twister and a half, as the Freedom 46 entry, the Williams car, putting a tongue twister on the outside of Pat Pedder. Stunning move there. As we head down the straight, we've still got this queue of cars, maybe seeing if anything's going to happen, but they're all just in this one big, I was going to say trolley train, it's more of an Adrian train at the moment. Is that the number 28 Aston Martin, or is that number 78? Not too sure, can't really tell from that angle. The closest battle on track is checking on Raza. He's about 2 seconds away from the V-Carb, who's the nearest car ahead of him. Wide goes the 46 car. That's the Freedom car. And then the Haas as well. Liam Muck looking to maybe get back into the points here, but the Alpines are the two cars standing in the way of that. As I think Razagamer has got a watch on his back foot here, and Owen Bozzy as well. He's playing the hunter and the hunted at the moment between the Aston Martin drivers. He's a bit wide there, heading out of the turn 10 corner, but he heads into the Pinnacle corner, and he goes around the outside of the Aston Martin. Adrian loses 2 places, maybe even 3. It's contact and it's out. No, it's not. They just about survived, but it's chaos down at the Pinnacle corner. The pinnacle of chaos, with Moore leader and Adrian both going into the wall. Liam Mack is now back into the points, and absolute chaos here. Into the pits with a damaged front wing comes Moore leader, and into the pits as well comes Adrian. Incredible. So from holding up a trolley train, he is now going into a train of despair at the moment. Into the pits they both come. The 78 car into the pits, and then comes Moore leader as well. He's into the pits with a damaged wing. Absolute heartbreak for him, as there's battling going on with Jammy and the Red Bull, both of the Red Bull caped cars, the V-Carb and the senior Red Bull car, battling here as they go round and round Summerland and into the turn 6-7 section. And as the leaders head onto Lakeside Drive, the Red Bull and the AlphaTauri, or the Alpha Heated Tari, terrible punners, GRL Latham, he's got past Nanu, and Nanu nearly spins as well. Absolute chaos here. Nanu goes wide and he loses the place here to GRL Atom. The owner of the league has owned the Red Bull of Nanau, and just like the battle for 12th and 13th, and the same thing going on in 4th and 5th, a V-Carb versus a Red Bull, and into the pits comes Nanu. Has he got damage, or is that part of the strategy? Into the pits, big lock up into the pits there. He's going to have flat spotted those mediums. Luckily though, he's going to get off them right now. Into the pits he comes, and out of the pits he goes. So good stuff at the moment here by Nanau. Let's get the lap data up. Position changes as well, as Nanau has lost 12 positions with that pit stop. Adrian has lost 11 positions with that pit stop and with that collision. And Moore leaders lost 6 positions as well. Let's change to tyre life. Or should we change to something else? Let me put the lap data on as well so I can give you the data of everyone's laps. Penalty wise, it's 3-second penalties galore at the moment. As we head up Lakeside Drive on board with Pat Pedder, who's under pressure here from the Freedom 46 car. And up ahead, up at the lead, it's a Mercedes versus a Williams. And down here at 9th and 10th, it's a Mercedes versus a Williams. Round the outside, very good move there by by the Freedom 46 car on Pat Pedder. Pat Pedder gets a 6-second penalty, the first driver to do so, and he's gone off. I think that penalty might need to be taken off because it looks like he's penalised himself by crashing at the turn 10 section. Shocker here, and as he heads into the pinnacle corner, he's letting people through. Is he retiring from the race potentially? Absolute chaos here for Pat Pedder, who's got front wing damage. He's gonna have to pit. Drama kicking in this latter stages of the race here at the moment. Well, in the more current stages of the race, we've had 3 drivers going into the pits for wing damage, and one of the McLarens are in the pits as well. That's Speddy who's into the pits. He goes onto the hard tire. Pat Pedder as well. He gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It's gone from bad to downright awful for Pat Pedder. Pat Pedder's going to be absolutely punching his desk at the amount of luck he has had. I don't know if he can get any of those penalties taken off, but if he can, he will love to do so. And as the Williams, the championship leading Williams in the Constructors' Championship, leading the race with their turbocharged Chris, Trusted gets ahead of Bozzy. Owen Bozzy finally gets passed by the Aston Martin of Trusted. Adrian, after his collision, his drama with More Leader, he's now back in battle with More Leader, but he's also got a 3-second penalty hanging over his shoulder. And More Leader's got back ahead of him. More Leader's got past him on the inside of Lakeside Drive. Incredible stuff here as they head through the zigzag of turn 9 and 10. Great stuff as Adrian staying on the track there. Thought he was going off there, but lots of people coming into the pits, one of them being the Ferrari of GRL Atom, the owner, into the pits. The number 77 gamer tag with the number 13 Ferrari. And unlike Pastor Maldonado, he's lasted longer without crashing. Raza Gamer now on those hard tyres. He hasn't stopped yet, but he's now back up into P7. So hopefully he can get back up into contention in this race. We are on lap 13, and the number 13's just come out of the pits on hard tyres. Although AJ Nolan, I don't know if he's going to be able to catch up. One of the Mercedes are off. Is that Pat Pedder again? Pat Pedder, for the second time in 2 laps, is off. That's that pinnacle corner, and round the louder curve he goes. Shocker here. And meanwhile, the other Mercedes of Jay Slynn, the pole sitter, has now fallen behind Turbo Chris. Horror for Mercedes at the moment. One of their drivers down in last after 2 crashes. The other one falling off of the lead, and that's what the Mercedes wants to do. Passing a Williams like that on Lakeside Drive. Great move there by Alpha Heated in the Alpha Heated Tari. And now the Freedom 46 Williams just ahead of Jammy, who is your most recent, I think he didn't win last race, but he won the race before that. The man who's 3rd place in the driver's standings is now 6th place in the race order at the moment, but everyone, as you can see, 12 laps on all their tyres, so P7 and up, have not pitted yet. That's a lie, as into the pits comes Jay Slynn, and into the pits comes Jammy, and into the pits there's another person, it's Chris. Chris into the pits as well, so coming out of the pits is Chris and Jay Slynn. Into the lead goes Liam Mack. So that leaves 4 more drivers yet to pit, and into turn 1 there, nearly contact there with one of the V-carbs, and he gets a penalty, taking evasive action almost from Turbo Chris. AJ Nolan in P7 there is Carterell. He's just been passed, I think he's just passed Jammy out of the pits, and that is Rom Lawn getting passed by Bozzy, Owen Bozzy, and now the 2 Alpines are looking for an assault on the 62 Ferrari, heading out of the Summerland corner into turn 6, 7 and 8 on past the balconies and into the Summerland Drive, the Lakeside Drive. And the Ferrari here trying to defend from the French army of Alpines here. Round the outside of Lakeside Drive goes one of the Alpines, and the other Alpine looking to follow suit, and they both do it. A double overtake by both of the Alpines. Incredible. Amazing Alpine action here by the Alpines. And although I'm thinking of Williams when it comes to Duracell batteries, we can firmly say that the AAA power has worked for Alpine. Amazing action in the Alpine team. The French dream really coming to life here. Liam Mack leads, still yet to pit though. He's ahead of the Racing Bulls, formerly known as AlphaTauri. And if this was an AlphaTauri, this would be a very heated AlphaTauri. Excuse the pun. As the Freedom 46 car, who's driven a very good race. He's been very busy this race though. Up and down the field, racecraft galore. And then comes Nanao, who's on newer tyres. And looking, he's going to be leading this race actually. Actually, thinking about it, it looks like he's overcut all of the drivers as there's a retirement. Adrian's out. Adrian's out at Summerland, at the Summerland corner, and he spun it out of Summerland and into the wall on the inside of the exit of Summerland corner. That's a shocker for the Aston Martin. I don't know if we'll see him now. He's ghosted now. Shocker there's. Raza Gamer's just been passed by GRL Atom. Nanao will take the lead. He's taken the net race lead. Chaos here as well. The Williams down the inside of AJ Nolan. And that's one of the Mercedes as Adrian leaves the session. One of the Aston Martins here holding up a trainer card on the outside of the AlphaTauri. Great move there by AJ Nolan. Not the AlphaTauri, the V-Carb, sorry. So that's one of the Salvers going into the pits. That's Owen Bozzy, who nearly lost the car in the pit entry. Raza Gamer. No, it wasn't Owen Bozzy. It was Raza Gamer. And the man who spun at the Nelson Piquet corner is now got a 10-second penalty. Absolute chaos as Nanao gets past the V-Carb, who's on aging tyres. The Alpha Heated man getting past there by Nanao. And Liam Mack, the only person stopping Nanao from the net race lead to the actual race lead. He's half a second down on his fastest lap on this new stint of hard tyres. Incredible stint here. Incredible early stages of the second stint here by Nanao on lap 16. Meanwhile, here comes GRL Atom, the owner of GRL, the Ground Effect Racing League, looking to own the Freedom man round the outside of the 46 car of Freedom, who I haven't found out the actual name of. And now, I don't know if there'll be team orders here at Williams. There, it looks like there is, as Freedom lets Turbo Chris by into the Pinnacle corner. And then comes Jay Slynn just behind, and he goes through on Freedom. Has he got a problem, or is that just aging tyres for you? And down the inside goes the V-Car, bit of contact there with Freedom. Freedom, ironically, not giving the most free chance there for AJ Nolan to get past, as that is Alpha Heated as well coming into the pits. There's a yellow flag. One of the Salvers are off. It's Raza again. Raza Gamer again off. And after such a promising comeback drivers, Nanao takes the lead. The Red Bull driver gets past the Haas, who's on 16 lap old tyres, and the 15 minutes of fame for the Haas comes to an end as Nanao takes the lead. And Speddy ahead of the... And Ron's out. Lawn's out even. Ron Lawn is out of the session. Is that in the pit lane, or was that coming out the last corner? It looks to be in the pit lane. Shocker for Ron Lawn giving up on this race. That's not the best way to go about a race, I must say. You know, there could be a safety car, but never mind. As heading through the Red Bull and the Haas 1-2 in this early stage. And then heading down into the Pinnacle corner of turn 11. Then the Ferrari here holding up a bit of a train here, as you can see behind the Williams of Turbo Chris. Then comes Jay Slynn. Also GRL Atom, don't forget he has a penalty of 3 seconds if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be one to watch out for. One of the Aston Martins here holding up a train of cars. See from his rear end camera. And the closest battle on track is between Owen Bozzy and the Alpine of Weezer. So we ride on board with the Alpine, making the French dream come true. As we have the Normandy leader, the Moore leader even. The French references really coming around to my brain here. Is on the exit here with DRS. Looks to be a bit of a DRS train at the moment between Trusted, Owen, Reza and the two Alpines. As Spenny on the back of Alpha Heated, who just came out the pits, I think. As that's Raza Gamer going past Freedom. Raza Gamer, after his very difficult period, is now back on form here, looking to battle with Freedom, who's now down in 16th after, I think it was bad strategy, it looks like, is round the outside here. Not going to make the move stick there is Raza Gamer. Raza Gamer is Freedom, not free to make a move here. As into the turn 6-7 section, past the balconies and onto Lakeside Drive, and there's going to be a move here by Turbo. Turbo's making a move. There's a move by one of the Ferraris, and that is the Williams of Turbo Chris on the inside of GRL Atom. making contact in the Pinnacle corner, down the inside of the Schumacher corner. At turn 15, into the pits comes Liam Mack. Finally, he's held back a massive train and caused a massive Constantina effect. There's one of the Mercedes behind, looking to capitalise. That's our pole sitter. The man who started in first is now down in fourth, looking to make amends for a bad race execution in the first few stages, hoping to make amends in the latter stages. This Jay Slynn, then comes AJ Nolan, trusted here, holding up his own train of cars, and it's an absolute fiasco here. There's another car out. It's Freedom, and he's crashed out of the last corner, out of the Prost corner. He's crashed on the exit of turn 16. Shocker for Freedom, who is not free to make a better race of his afternoon today. Very bad night here for Freedom. And meanwhile, his teammate Turbo Chris makes the move on GRL Atom. The owner gets owned by Turbo Chris. And Turbo Chris as well has put GRL Atom on the back foot. Atom may feel like Ant-Man by the end of this straight as we head into Pinnacle corner. Jay Slynn gets passes Atom, and GRL Atom, the owner of Ground Effect Racing League, now being caught here by AJ Nolan in the number 11 V-Carb. Very good racing at the moment. Is one of the Saubers of Bozzy looking to make amends as well. The V-Carb here trying to defend from the Haas, who's trying to defend from the McLaren. And Pat Pedder's got another penalty for 3 seconds for track limits. Meanwhile, I think, is that one of the Ferraris? Yes, it is. Who's on his back foot here? One of the V-Carbs maybe looking to make a move, but not quite as of yet. Head through turn 3 and 4. Heading through the Ricardo corner and into the Summerland section. Very great racing here, very calculated racing, not too reckless, not too bad. 10-second penalty again. Is that another one for Pat Pedder, who retires from the session? People dropping like water from a waterfall out of this race. Yeah, this is very much a high-speed game of chess. As Nanu with a great strategy, putting him, he's overcut pretty much everyone who was ahead of him. As after that incredible start, jumping Turbo Chris at the start, and Jay Slynn looks like he hasn't executed his strategy to perfection, losing 2 places, and Nano has taken the lead after losing positions to GRL Atom and Turbo Chris. The Hasses are battling in the background. That's Katia and Liam Muck. And now Liam Mack looking to maybe make a move on Spenny. Can he spend one to the inside? The number 13 Haas driver, one of 2 drivers with the number 13. The other one being the owner, GRL Atom. It says number 77 on his gamer tag, but it's the number 13 on the car in game for Liam Mack. As on the inside of turn 1 goes Liam Mack, and he's looking to make the move into the first corner on the Alan Jones corner. And around turn 2, the Graham Hill corner. Oh no, the Brabham corner even, my bad. And as we head into the PK corner, and now we head down the straight here, the Ferrari of GRL Atom keeping his cool there, and it looks like there'll be a move made here by Reza on Owen Bozzy. Owen Bozzy has the DRS though to keep him comfort like a couch on a late night, and that will mean he stays ahead for another lap at least, hopefully, as long as he keeps his last sector nice and clean. But it looks like they've stopped battling for now, but maybe that means they'll catch up to Nanao, who's on older tyres, do not forget. So he's in the lead at the moment. He's got track position, but will he have track position by the end? I don't know. It'll be very risky. His tyres are going to extinguish 3 laps before Turbo Chris's tyres do. His tyres are 3 laps older. And GRL Atom on older tyres than Jay Slynn. And there's a crash here. Is that one of the McLarens maybe? Who's gone off on the gravel, it looks like. And he's coming into the pits. Has he got damaged? No, but he's coming into the pits anyway. And into the pits comes Spenny, who's spent too much on the gravel. And excusing the pun there, not the best line for the McLaren drivers. Jay Slynn looking to get a run on Turbo Chris. Raza gets ahead of the McLaren, and it's back to the McLarens at the back of the field of the running order. Obviously the DNFs not being counted in that sentence. As we head through onto Lakeside Drive, Look at it, down the inside goes Jace Lynn, the pole sitter, ahead of Turbo Chris. And putting him out of his misery again over the curve, very aggressive there. And now the charge on Nano has begun. Because look, they're in DRS range of the Red Bull. The Red Bull versus Mercedes. This is almost 2021-esque here. Mercedes versus a Red Bull. But now, is Turbo Chris going to be able to stay on the back of this train? And if we're lucky, if we've counted our blessings enough, we could have a 5-car fight for the win, but it looks like it will be a 3-way fight for the win between Nanao, who pulled an absolute worldie of a strategy to get track position, but will he have the tyre life to be able to defend from Jace Lynn, and will Jace Lynn be able to make a move clean enough so that Turbo Chris doesn't get a nice little sniff on the back of the leaders? All those questions will be answered in the next few laps. And the energy that it takes to the excitement of this has taken my energy as well, as you can hear by my rather uncontrolled yawn as we head through onto Lakeside Drive past the balconies and onto the turn 9-10 zigzag section, and this is a move for the lead. Jace Lynn in the number 17 takes the lead of the Division 3 Australian Grand Prix. Nano took the lead from Liam Mack, but on those older tyres, Nano is struggling. The track position doesn't guarantee you a win here in Australia. It's executing the perfect strategy, and down the inside goes Turbo Chris, charging through on Nano, and Nano's dropping like a pin here. Position after position after position, and ultimately it's losing him a lot of time, and he's really struggling on those tyres. He's got 2 lap older tyres than anyone else in the field, just in the top 6. And down the straight here, can Turbo Chris maybe catch up to the pole sitter of Jace Lynn, who pitted at the right time, was able to execute a perfectly clean move as GRL Atom gets a penalty for exceeding track limits. Absolute mayhem for him. AJ Nolan as well, another penalty-stricken driver, but he won't have to worry about a penalty to keep his position. If I'm not mistaken, he has only a 3-second penalty. He does, but it's a 6-second penalty for GRL Atom as they head round the turn 6 section. Meanwhile, the Alpines are coming out of Summerland Corner and heading onto Lakeside Drive. This battle here between Reza and Owen Bozzi looking to have gone on for ages, but it's really helped by the fact that, oh, there's a move there. GRL Atom passing on the outside of Nanao. Nanao losing another place here. Meanwhile, we cut back to Bozzi and Reza, and it's the same story again. Reza staying behind Bozzi, who is trusted to give him the DRS to help him feel at home and like he's on his favourite sofa, hugging his favourite granny. Just feeling really comfortable at the moment as they head through the last corner, the Prost corner, and past the Fangio Grandstand over the line to start lap 25 or 29. 4 laps to go of the Division 3 Race 3 of Ground Effect Racing League. And there's a crash here. I think that's for one of the McLarens. It is. Looks like he's gone through the grass maybe. Not the best line there. Meanwhile, the 1.2 seconds separating Jace Lynn from Turbo Chris. Then comes a second behind that is GRL Atom, but this penalty is really going to hurt him because he'll drop behind Nanao, he'll drop behind AJ Nolan, and maybe even Trusted if he is unlucky enough. Hopefully he can pull that gap. Obviously a 3-second penalty for AJ Nolan, so he'll drop back as well. So luckily Atom will stay ahead of Nolan in their rivalry. But yeah, Jace Lynn showing the same pace that he showed in the last lap, Bonanza lap in qualifying. As he heads through the pinnacle corner, this man's been the pinnacle of the field here today in Division 3. As we see, it looks like Reza's a lot closer to Owen Bozzi than he has been before. Don't know if he can maybe make a lunge here into the last chicane. We're riding aboard with the Alpine into the Schumacher Prost complex, and then down onto the main straight past the Fangio Grandstand in about 3-2-1 now. And I think Raza Game is under pressure here from one of the McLarens here, so we'll keep an eye on that battle further back. Meanwhile, everything's settling down again like it did in the kind of the bit the aftermath of the start. And now we're in the aftermath of the second stint. After everything is played out strategy-wise, we're now just looking for that final push to the end for these last 3 laps of an amazing Australian Grand Prix. And if I had a Foster can, this would be the equivalent of a party. This race, as it's been that entertaining. As Nano again losing position, this time to a fellow Red Bull Capes driver of AJ Nolan. I think someone's just got a penalty as well. I think Raz has just got past. No, has he? No, Raz is still ahead of AMS Jobo. Meanwhile, I think one of the V-Carbs are under pressure from one of the Haas's. The Haas's of Liam Mack, who's gone past at the moment, but he's still ahead on penalties. Pat Ped has left the session again. Meanwhile, so you have a look at the leaders. Out! Round goes AJ Nolan on the exit of the Prost corner in front of the Mark Webber grandstand. He's round the number 11, who looks to have a guaranteed P4, maybe P5, is now down in 10th. What on earth happened there? He dropped it on the exit of the Webber corner, or the Webber on the exit of the corner in front of the Webber grandstand, and he's into the wall. That's so bad. Has he got any damage from that? He does. He's missing the whole white bit of his end plate, missing the Hugo sponsorship. Absolute travesty for AJ Nolan. He's now down in this Haas V-Car battle that has been brewing for the final points paying position. This might mean that Liam Mack can get into the points, as we alluded to earlier in the race, and I think one of the Alpines are setting up for a move here. Nope, not going to make the move done, but AJ Nolan behind one of the Haas's. Liam Mack is backing up into the points, one of the V-Carbs, and that's actually ruined the attack here of the number 2 V-Carb, because the DRS that AJ Nolan just gave to Liam Mack has absolutely ruined that chance for the Alpha heated entry of the 11 V-Carb, or the number 2 V-Carb even, as that's Spenny in the McLaren. Oh yeah. As down the inside of Lakeside Drive, go into turn 9, goes Spenny F1 on Raza Gamer, who's had a very unlucky race. I feel like he should be rewarded more than he has done in this race. But the Alpine of Raza looking to maybe get a move on Owen Body. He's going to be getting desperate soon, surely, as we head through turn 1 and 2 again. Grass on the tyres. But AJ Nolan, absolute calamity for him. We have a look at the tyres. The person with the oldest tyres is Nano on 17 lap old tyres, and Cartier even, who's on 17 lap old hard tyres as well. So we have one of the Saubers trying to defend from Reza. We have another Sauber trying to attack on the McLaren. That's Raza, 4 tenths behind the McLaren here. It's all calmed down at the moment here. We'll check back with the Haas V-Car battle here. The DRS for the number 2 of Alpha heated down the inside, and it's round another V-Car in 2 laps. Rounds. Absolute travesty. And one of the Saubers have gone round as well. Raza Gamer at Summerland looks to have lost a lot of time, and that is the second V-Carb driver to pirouette within the space of a lap and a half. Absolute pandemonium. Pandemonium, I tell ya. More leader leading the man who was 3rd in the championship, Jamie. And now Reza looking to Raz past Owen Bozzy, who's looking to be the boss of Reza. And he's trusted in. Oh, he's lost the car. Nearly contact, and he's drowned. Owen drowned. Owen Bozzy, who looked to be the boss of more leader and the boss of the Alpines, is round. And just like his teammate earlier, it's at that PK Ricardo complex. The PK corner and the Ricardo corner, turn 3 and turn 4. He's round and he's down into turn 9. People's tires going off, and D3 drivers not being able to cope with it looks like. Absolute pandemonium. There's a car behind. That's Liam Mack again. Back to capitalise on another spinner. This time it's Owen Bozzy for the 3rd time, and he's been pushed to the wall. Was that contact? It was. I think that's damage for one of the Haas's. That will be looked at. I think that might be a penalty, because Owen Bozzy's squeezing the Haas driver, who's now fallen behind. It's an ERS battle down into the pinnacle corner. And Jay Slynn over the line wins in Australia for D3 in GRL ahead of Turbo Chris. Then comes GRL at him and Bozzy's out in the Niki Lauda corner. Nanau gets up into the podium. Trusted beats Atom on penalties. Reza into 6th, capitalising on Bozzy's mistakes in the end. And Ball Leader completing a Alpine 6-7. Jammy will be making a peanut butter jam sandwich as he'll be delighted with that result. Liam Mack in 9th after capitalising on 3 different spinners in 3 different battles of his. Whitey, outfit heated, comes home to get the final points paying position, nearly losing all the points that he had by spinning with contact with Liam Mack. Cartella ahead, Cartier even ahead of the unfortunate AJ Nolan in 14th. Great race for Division 3 in GRL, the Ground Effect Racing League, utilising the ground for the best of motor racing in sim racing even. And we need dedicated comms team for every decision, even if they just spectate the race in case. So it looks like we may... Okay, it looks like you'll be hearing me soon, but anyway, we have Jay Slynn, the pole sitter, the man who has he hasn't grand slammed this race, because he has grand choke slammed this race. Like Kane from WWE, he is the Undertaker of the race down under in Australia. Great drive by the Mercedes of Jay Slynn. He beats out the Turbo Chris, who had him to the last second. Then Nanau, who did the best track position strategy. I've just missed that. I'm going to go back on stream and tell you the stats on the stream, as that was an incredibly good race up until the flag. And I hope you all enjoyed that incredible race. So let me run you through the grid order. Jammy got the fastest lap to add to his championship challenge. So the order looks like Jay Slynn in 1st, Turbo Chris the Scotsman in 2nd, 2 Germans in 3rd and 4th being Nano and Trusted, the Austrian of Atom Lauda in 5th, then comes Reza and More Leader to be in Alpine 6-7, then comes the P8 man of Jammy, who's P3 in the championship. Then in P9 comes Liam Mack, who capitalised on a lot of mistakes in the last stages of that race. Absolutely incredible. Now, I don't know where I'm meant to be now, but you may hear me again, you may not. But after that incredible race down under, after that incredibly dominant drive by Jay Slynn, I have to say congratulations and thank you to everyone who watched and took part in GRL D3. It's been a pleasure to commentate on for my debut commentary in Ground Effect Racing League. Looking to do real life commentary, so if you have any events that you would like to invite me to, let me know. I am more than happy to accept, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye. Sim racing also counts. If you want a sim racing event for me to commentate on, I might be able to say yes as well. Anyway, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.